Hi, I'm Jim,
And I'm Christina.
and we're the Morin family. We entered a contest to win a free IVF cycle from New Life in Pensacola, Florida. When we originally saw the post, we quickly posted our information out there. Now we'd like to take the time to tell you our story.
I want to start off by telling you a couple of things. This is our story told from my point of view. I want to apologize in advance if I get emotional, as our story is not easy to tell and still very painful. Jim may get up at a certain point in the story and leave the room. You'll understand shortly. I know our story may seem long, but please take the time to watch the video in its entirety. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
A week from now, 10 years ago, I raised my right hand and took an oath to protect and serve this nation. Almost exactly 2 years later, in 2006, in Okinawa, Japan, my breath was taken away by a new guy moving into the dormitory across the parking lot. Less than 5 months later, we were inseparable. I remember his best friend asking me, "Christina, you're leaving in 3 months. Do you really want to start something serious knowing that you're going to leave?" Without hesitation, my answer was yes. I knew then he was the one. In late January of 2007, I left Kadena for Minot, North Dakota. For a year and a half, I was without the love of my life. It was completely unnerving at times, especially while he was deployed for 6 months. But we made it through stronger than ever. In May of 2008, I got stationed in Florida. He was still in Japan, but was coming back to the States in June and was going to be stationed in Georgia. We had it all figured out. We would switch coming to each other on the weekends, and we would do anything to make this work. We had to, because we're in love. I'm not exactly sure when he decided, but by December of 2008, Jim decided that he wanted to be in Florida for full time. We didn't want to be apart anymore. 2009 was simple. We enjoyed being a young couple in love. I had a cat named Sam that I had since high school. We got a puppy that we named Chance. He is very important to us. It's by chance that everything happens the way it does. Fate is the reason we fell in love, but it was by chance that we met, that day that we did. We both knew pretty early on that there was nobody else in the world that we wanted to be with. I knew from the beginning of our relationship that Jim had an 8-year-old daughter from his first marriage. In July of 2010, she came for a visit and stayed with us due to some allegations that we were made aware of during her visit. We enrolled her in school, and I even became a Girl Scout leader to help her adjust to her new surroundings. We had an awesome routine. I or her dad would pick her up from the youth center on base. We would come home, get a snack, sit at the table, help her with her homework. Then she would go outside and play with her friends. Sorry. We would make dinner as a family, and we'd either watch TV or play a game. Then it was time for a shower. She could watch some more TV before bed, and then she had a very strict bedtime. We gave her the stability that she never had. The entire 8 months that we had her, her mother never called. Less than a month of after moving in with us, she broke her wrist at the youth center, her first broken bone. Jim did the right thing and called her mother to let her know. Her response was, "Well, at least you have the insurance to pay." It was heartbreaking to hear a mother not care about her child's first broken bone. We contacted a lawyer and filed for full custody. Christmas was spent in Georgia with my family. My parents were so excited to have a granddaughter to adore, and she had such a bond with them. Of course, her mother did not call on Christmas to wish her own daughter a Merry Christmas. I hurt for her. It still obviously breaks my heart thinking about it. I had Jim call his ex-wife the next day so his daughter could talk to her mom. And when she got on the phone, she asked her mom why she didn't call her. I could hear the disappointment in her voice. I will never forget the response I heard next. "Well, honey, we were busy." She asked her daughter to hand the phone back to her dad, and what I heard next blew me away. We were scheduled for a court hearing in February, and his ex-wife decided that the day after Christmas, 8 months now since we have been providing a home for her daughter, would be the perfect time to let us know that she would be bringing a lawyer. And oh, by the way, she's not your child. I literally could see the color drain from Jim's face. We all thought she was just lying because the kid looks just like him. We got back home to Florida. We went to a local drugstore to buy an at-home DNA test. You do the test at home and you send it off and then check online for the results. We did the test and sent it off. I could remember about a month later Jim calling me at work and telling me that the results were in, and he couldn't check them on his phone. He asked me to check them online. So I logged into the website and clicked on the results, and it's been 4 years, and I have no biological connection to this child. As you guys can probably guess, the results were not as we had hoped. This poor, innocent 8-year-old child who had grown up thinking this amazing man was her father was not. Her life was a lie, and Jim was devastated. I went to Jim, and we went to the youth center to pick her up as a family. Even though we're not married yet, we were a family, and we wanted to pick her up as one, even though we wouldn't be one for much longer. With the pending court date in less than 2 weeks, we'd be obligated to tell the judge that we did a paternity test and what those results were. We turned to our support system. My parents drove down for the hearing the very next day. My parents drove down for the hearing. And the day after the hearing, we had to say goodbye to this little girl who brought so much to our life. I think for the longest time after she was gone, we were lost. It was like, what are we supposed to do? There's no homework to do or no spelling words to learn. Lunch cards to put money on, chores to check. Even before we had her living with us, Jim and I always talked about wanting children of our own. Children are very important to us, and it's not an option for us just to not have children. In August of 2011, after almost 5 years of dating, we both took another oath. This time to love and cherish each other in sickness and in health.
Best day ever.
in good times and in bad, and in joys as well as in sorrow. We promised to love each other unconditionally for as long as we both shall live. We waited a long time to get married. We knew that if we had gone through everything that we had gone through in the almost 5 years of being together, and we were still together and still madly in love with each other, that it was fate, that we were meant to be together. We were soulmates. We started trying to conceive. When we were first referred to New Life, we tried naturally with medication. We originally thought that only one of us had fertility issues. In December of 2012, we were so excited that we were going to get to do IVF. The military doesn't pay for it, so we worked really hard to come up with the money. And we were thrilled that we were going to be able to do it. We picked the first appointment available because we were so excited. I just so happened to be going through a cycle with a friend and former coworker, so it was nice to have somebody who understood the nervousness of it being both of our first times and not knowing what was going to happen. During the retrieval, they were able to get 14 eggs. Of course, not all of them were able to be fertilized. I know we were both on pins and needles, waiting impatiently for updates, as was my friend, and we got updates on separate days. So every time we got updates, we would call each other. And it seemed like each time I would get my updates, they got worse and worse, while her news wasn't so bad. I believed that they were going to transfer back in on either the third or fifth day. I got a call saying that they were going to wait to transfer back on the fifth day for us to see if the embryos had made any progress. By this time, the eggs that had fertilized had quickly dwindled down. I don't exactly remember the numbers, but they weren't good. On the fifth day, I got a call saying that they would not be able to transfer any of the embryos back in. None of them had survived. They just stopped growing and did not reach the next stage in growth. I don't even remember if I was able to say anything on the phone. I was feeling so many emotions that I think I just shut down. I think I even might have told you that I couldn't even answer the phone anymore. Like, I wasn't going to be able to
talk to them.
To talk to them.
Yeah.
The next day, my coworker went in for her transfer. I wasn't upset at her. She wants to be a mom too. I can't be mad at that. So after our unsuccessful IVF, we sat down with Dr. Rips to find out what they had learned from our cycle. We learned something very surprising, something I never expected to hear. I still remember Dr. Rip's exact words. Like, I can still hear him saying it. Where did the two of you meet?
A lemon lot?
Well, they learned from our cycle that we got the short end of the stick, lucky draw, raw end of the dill, the lemon, whatever you want to call it. Turns out both of us have fertility issues. This has been especially hard on me. Jim has been my rock through all of this. When the IVF didn't work the first time, we were completely shattered and decided that not only emotionally did we need a break, but physically, my body especially needed a break. So we took a year off and decided to just try the natural way without any medication. But in August of last year, Jim and I decided that it was time to start trying again. But we knew that IVF was going to be our only option. But since the military hadn't changed its benefits, paying for it, we couldn't afford it.
Yep.
So my amazingly incredible husband decided to take a contracting job in Afghanistan because it would pay for IVF. And even though it was dangerous, he was willing to do that for us. We had it all planned out. Unfortunately, 4 months into his year contract, he was hurt and sent home.
Yeah, that sucked.
So that crushed our plans again. Being able to win this contest wouldn't just mean the world to my husband and I. We have the most amazing support system. My parents would love to become grandparents. And Jim's parents would love to have a grandbaby nearby. Our family and friends are obviously our greatest support system, and we lean on them for everybody, or for everything. They were very excited that we might finally be getting our chance to have a baby the first time. They went completely overboard and had a positive attitude about everything when we were able to afford to do IVF that they either gave us or went out and bought. I don't know everything that we have.
Crib.
But a crib,
bassinet.
bassinet, a rocker, boys and girls clothes.
We had tubs full of clothes.
From newborn to at least 24 months, if not older. Did I say a stroller? A pack and play.
Yeah. This closet behind us is full
It's
of
all
stuff.
had to be put in this closet because honestly, it is, it's too painful to keep out and have staring at me every day when I come into this room. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
So I put it in the closet. Now we're ready to get our chance for fate to kick in and bring our baby home. The last thing that Jim and I want to say is we've been keeping track of each and every one of you who have liked our post. Friends, family, and especially complete strangers. We have been so inspired by the amount of love, support, kind words, prayers, and shares. We want you to know that if we're lucky enough to win this amazing opportunity and also lucky enough to have a miracle baby, I guarantee you that our child will know each and every one of your names and that you're a part of how they got here. We could never express the gratitude that we have towards all of you. I know that our story is really, really long. It's been quite the journey over the past couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the next journey is just the beginning. I guess we'll see December 15th. Thank you guys for all your support. We appreciate it.
Really do. Thank you.